Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Worst Reviews Ever with Sophisticated Jerk and Amazing in here. And today we're gonna review this late Christmas movie. We was just busy and I really don't care for him too much, but Amazing bought this one up. So we're gonna go ahead and do this review. So this movie's called Champagne Problems. And let me go ahead and pull up the slides real quick. So, Champagne Problems is a 2025 American romantic comedy film written and directed by Mark Steven Johnson and starring Minka Kelly and Tom Wozniacki. I definitely butchered that. So, the plot on this one is an executive travels to France to secure the acquisition of a renowned champagne brand before Christmas, but her plans are upended when she falls into a whirlwind romance with a charming Parisian, only to discover he's the founder's son. So, directors and producers, directed by Mark Steven Johnson, produced by Steven Slack, Margaret Huddleston, and Mark Steven Johnson. So yeah, Mark everywhere on this. So the cast on this movie, we got Minka Kelly as Sidney Price, Tom, I'm just going with Tom, I'm not gonna butcher his last name again, as Henry Castle, DeBalt the Montel Lambert as Hugo Casilla Goff. I might have butchered that a little bit. And then Sean Amusing as Roberto Salazar. Fofa Borg as Otto. Astrid Winsnall as Bridget. Xavier Samuel as Ryan Garner. And Mitchell Mullen as Marvin Roth. So, all right, let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up the trailer. We'll go over that, and then, we'll jump into the ratings. Whew, those are some rough names. I definitely butchered those.
So, what are you going to do first?
You should start at the Eiffel Tower.
I don't have time for sightseeing, Sky. This is a huge opportunity for me.
Promise me that you will take one night off from work. Excuse me?
I came here today to hear your proposals for my vineyard. Who wants to start?
Cindy.
Henri?
Henri is my son. You know each other?
We met last night.
Okay, that clears up nothing.
You will be my guest at Chateau Castle for the weekend. I want you to show me why you are the right buyer.
Let's get this party started.
It's 9 a.m.
I know, right?
Her and I could never work.
Your company rapes
Small businesses
and I can't.
to protect my father.
Champagne isn't like any other wine. Champagne is for fun.
I'm just giving you a head start.
Like I need it. I need it.
Since we found out,
You think I'm flirting with you?
anything could happen, anything could.
Aren't you?
Si, absolument.
What's getting into you, Sydney? You've been the same since you got to Paris.
Honey, you fell in love in Paris, and a cruel twist of fate turned you into star-crossed lovers. It's Moulin Rouge without the tuberculosis.
You and your family watch Die Hard on Christmas too?
Yes, but in Germany it's considered a tragedy. Poor Hans Gruber. Deeply misunderstood.
All right, let me pull out this rating. All right, Amazing. What you rated this movie?
I'm gonna go with 6.8.
6.8. All right, I'm gonna give it a 4.9. I'm indecent. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first and do your breakdown.
So rating, why did I give it this rating? I thought, it was kind of typical rom-com in a way, but the things I really liked about it where I thought that Sydney and Henry had really good chemistry between, just the actors. I thought that they did have good chemistry. I really liked Roberto's character. I thought that he was just like a super funny person in the mix of it. I would definitely recommend the movie. What did I like about the plot and storyline? Again, it was definitely predictable. There was a couple things though that I thought were potentially going to happen that didn't happen, as well as things that I thought could have happened, which would have like topped it over the 7 mark. But what I liked about it was, again, I like rom-com movies, especially Christmas time. I really liked the just the whole Christmas vibe of Paris, just because it looked so pretty there and had all the Christmas stuff. Storyline, again, I didn't think anything was drawn out. I did think it was predictable, but I mean, I feel like you also have to be somewhat predictable in rom-coms, especially Christmas rom-coms. Like, I mean, if it wasn't predictable, then I think it would have been a total flop. Like, if something crazy happened, then it's not even a good Christmas movie, and then it's just a total thumbs down. So I kind of feel like for this specific season, rom-coms, they have to be predictable. Otherwise, they'll be a total crapper. Scenes and actress performances that stuck out. Again, I really liked Sydney and Henry's characters. I thought that they had really good chemistry. I also just liked the way they kind of made, so everybody's kind of, when they go to Paris, they're all, the little group of people is trying to fight for the chateau, I guess, the champagne to be sold to them, this business. I liked the way you can see them all becoming friends as the movie goes on. And that is something I think that's a little different, because sometimes, a lot of times, even with the rom-coms and the different things, they're still kind of like, people are still kind of combative against each other. And there's like the little group split offs, where this one, it was still like, you've seen the whole group becoming friends as they moved along in the movie, and like their little journey trying to get the father to sell the business to them. So I did like that. And I thought all of the group had a good chemistry together, where their performances just really, they just vibed so good together. I really liked the group. One of the performances that stuck out to me, which again, you knew it was gonna, I felt like you knew something was gonna happen. So when Sydney first gets to Paris, she goes to the bookstore. She like basically links up with Henry right away. They go back to his place, and then she's late for her meeting the next morning. So you obviously, like anybody who watches Christmas or rom-coms in general knows, like obviously Henry's gonna pop back up. So you knew that was gonna happen, but I wasn't necessarily expecting him to be the son of the champagne wine, or the chateau, or whatever it's called. So I thought that was, again, I mean, it wasn't a huge thing, but I wasn't necessarily expecting him to be the son of. The other thing that I thought, I guess, that I liked, so I really liked Roberto's character. The one thing that I was thinking, literally until the end of the movie, I thought Roberto was going to be like a fake, like a ploy to be in the mix to see, like I thought the father probably put Roberto in the mix of them just to see, like from an insider perspective, on who he should sell the company to.
Like a spy or something.
Yeah. That's what I thought was going to happen. So that surprised me. Just again, I thought that was like a typical rom-com move, was, yeah, he would have been the spy within. If I was the director or producer, what would I change or do differently? I would have had the Sydney and the father. I would have had the father keep the company, Sydney and them team up, and then Sydney kind of run that business aspect, while Henry had his store that he wanted, his backyard, like wine bookstore. So I would have changed that a little bit, but I like the way it turned out. I think that Roberto becoming partners with the father also was good. I thought it was funny when the father said how much money he needed, and then Roberto was like, oh, that's it, because at first, like, the father thought it was going to be like, oh no, I need all this money, and Roberto's like just so rich, he's like, oh, it's like chump change to me. But that was the one thing I thought could have been differently, is Roberto could have been the spy, Sydney and them could have partnered up, and then the father could have still kept the money, but then Sydney just helped them in that way where the family kept the whole business.
Okay. That's decent. That would have probably got me up to like a 4.95. No. All right, so let me jump in there. So what's my rating and why did I give it? I gave it a 4.9, decent. I'm not a big fan of the Christmas movies because like you said, I understand they do got to be flat, similar. And it's almost like they just got to produce a new version of the same story for like each Christmas year. So I couldn't understand what we're dealing with, but yeah, just too predictable. And I do wish they would have made some adjustments, and I'll get to that at the end. Would I recommend this movie to anybody? I mean, if you're just watching Christmas movies and you want to watch a new one, I would recommend it at that point because, you know, I think people just rewatch the same ones each year. So this is like somewhat different because I do like this change of scenery because, you know, typically it'd be in like United States and stuff. So I like how they had introduced the business travel element. So I thought that was like different. But the plot and the storyline, I thought it was kind of, like you said, super predictable and kind of flat. And then the one part I hated with it was like the guy had the dumbest idea. What was it, like a champagne bookstore? That was like his. It's like, man, 2025 when bookstores are going underwater and stuff. It's like, man, that's your bright idea, and she's gonna give up her like a corporate job and not sink his business because of that. Yeah, if I was her, I would have been like, yeah, we going through with this deal. So I just thought that was just like too much of a stretch. You know, I did like the chemistry at first. I was like, okay, man, that's kind of clever. You know, he done showed her Paris, so you know all the romance was there. But when he had that dumb idea, she should have damn near hopped off that like Ferris wheel. Like, what? A champagne bookstore? Bye. Click. Like, I'm moving on. This dude lost his stuff. So yeah, I didn't like that element. But like the scenes and performances that stuck out, I do like their dynamic, how they kind of ended up at the house where everybody had to make their pitch. I just thought the like German dude was a little too weird.
Oh, actually, so I thought he was hilarious too. I thought he was really funny.
I didn't like that character because, you know, I know you got to introduce some comedy, but I think you had enough with the one person that you liked. I forgot his name, Roberto. Yeah. Where it's like, man, you didn't need too many awkward people, you know, with the sales pitches, because you do wanted it like to be somewhat realistic. So that's why I wish they would have kind of like honed in on that. And I was hoping towards the end, this was going to be my change, where I wish he would have just like, instead of pursuing that like champagne library, like if he would have took over like the lead of his dad's business, and then what's her name could have came and, you know, help, you know, bring it up to speed, whatever, like do the process improvements and stuff. So they just kept the, you know, business internally and like let that guy invest versus like, you know, everybody was a winner and happy and they split everything. So, you know, they could have let some people like move on versus like everybody just stayed there and got along. So it was a little too happy. So yeah, I wish that they would have made that twist. I would have had to definitely bump it up where he was just like, you know what, man, I am gonna take the legacy and stay on and, you know, help get it to that next level. So keep it eternally. And then she stayed over there and helped, you know, propel the business. So that would have been the pivot I would have made. Because other than that, it was just like everybody won. He got his little corny business that was in the red. She left her high paying corporate job just to stay there for that. So yeah, I'm like, come on, man, this is too happy and unbelievable. So all right, we'll go ahead with you guys. Some pushback for that.
No, I think it's funny that you thought a Christmas movie was too happy.
You know what I'm saying? Because it would have been happy if they would have got together anyways. I'm just saying, like, Roberto's there, they're partners. They got the champagne library. The ladies with the dad now. So it's like almost everybody just done one out in that situation. Where it's just like, man, y'all could have been friends and stuff. Like, spoke to each other. They would have understood if he would have kept it like, you know what? I'm not going to sell it to anybody. I'm keeping it internally. My son stepping up to the helm. So that's what I'm saying. It still would have been happy, but not overly fake happy. Hater.
Grinch.
But all right, man, we're gonna jump to like, you gonna go up on your score? You gonna change it? You know, kind of
I'll keep
rethinking anything, or did I like jog your memory with my excellence?
No. I'll keep my score at 6.8. I mean, I kind of think like I almost want to go up to 7 just because I like Christmas movies in general. And I thought Otto, he was definitely weird. I think they could have made him a little less weird. That was a good point you made. Because he was like extra weird, but I also thought it was kind of funny. So
Okay, so you're staying at
I'll just stick with 6.8.
okay, and I'm gonna stay at the 4.9, decent territory. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it there. But all right, y'all, we just wanted to knock this out. You know, we was thinking we wasn't gonna post it out there because it was past, but we was busy, so we were like, let's go ahead and throw this up there. But all right, y'all, keep tuning in. Peace.